Hey, welcome back to Karen's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. Wat leuk dat je weer kijkt. Dankjewel. And this is today's project. See this cute slider top? I've made my own designer series paper for it. Of course, in the video I'll be showing you how to. And this is already the third project in a series on how to wrap a bottle of Tombow glue. So keep watching. Here you have the box again, the slider top, and here you can see it's a gift box for a bottle of Tombow glue. I'll continue by showing you the supplies that I've used. You want a block, C block, you want the brilliant wings, and you want to die cut masks of the masking paper. Here are my masks. And colour and contour stamp set, and here I have my masking paper, a blending brush, and I've used the silver metallic edge ribbon as well. My box was in Orchid Oasis. I'm going to need one for a little girl who is, well, she's really fond of pink, so I'm going to recreate this box in polished pink. So you need polished pink cardstock and some basic white cardstock. I will start with the box itself, and you need a piece of polished pink for that. As I said, you're going to score that. Then I'm going to fold all my score lines and show you where to do the cutting. And I just noticed that I forgot to switch on my extra light. I'll go and do that. I have a tip for you. If you have these longer bits to fold, it helps if you align those sides, then your folding won't be crooked. So here too, I'm just looking for a right alignment. With a smaller piece like this, you can't go wrong as easily. So here I have my box. I'm going to show you how to do the cutting. With this narrow bit to the right, that is the bottom and this is the top. And along the bottom you're going to cut up those 4 score lines as far as the first score line. All of them. And you do the same thing at the top, but there you cut up the 4 score lines to the second score line. You can wedge that tiny one. Needs a bit more cutting. And I'm going to do some cutting first along the top of my box, and this means that I'm going to fold back this flap. That's the flap that folds over, and then I'm taking my trimmer and I'm putting my score line here just to the right of the groove on the trimmer. Make sure it's straight, and then you cut off those. Then you fold back these 2 flaps. You have that one left, and you put your edge there on the the half inch mark. So that's the second line that you see on the trimmer. Make sure it's straight top and bottom, and you cut again. These are just scraps. Now you can do some more wedging, and I'm going to wedge these smaller flaps, these ones, that one, and the ones along the top. I will show you what you have now. So the folding flaps are wedged. This is a folding flap as well. This is the top flap. Now you're going to put on tear and tape. Just looking at my reference here because I want some pieces here as well. I'm ready to put the box together. Don't know what that was. So I'm folding over this flap. This gives your box along the top a really beautiful edge, and it gives a bit of sturdiness to the box as well. Then you fold in that flap. Now this is long and it may be wobbly, so before you stick it down, make sure that you align your score lines, and then you press down. Then it helps if first you put the box together, so you tuck in the lid, and here you have the bottom of the box. Now first you fold in those two side flaps and you remove the backing paper. Then you put the back flap over first. That's the one that has no tear and tape on it. Can you see? So you fold that one over first, making sure that from the edges it all aligns there, and then you can remove the backing paper of the front flap and push it down, making sure your edges align, and then open your box and from the top press down your fingers or your bone folder, and that is the box. I'll continue with the sliding top, and for that you need a piece of cardstock, basic white, and I'm going to put masks on it, and I'm going to show you with one because here are the masks that I have left of my earlier attempts, and you see you can use a masking paper mask more than once, but it was incredibly fiddly to make them. If I'm honest, I had, well, bits of butterfly everywhere, because sometimes the backing paper comes off and then you can't, well, it's really difficult then to, can I put one in there? Yeah, why not? I'll just put this one a bit closer. If you're careful with them, you can use these masks more than once. I'll show you one mask that I've made, and I'll just take this butterfly of the Brilliant Wings dies and some masking paper and show you how difficult I found it. I spent quite a lot of time getting all those sticky bits of cardstock out. You can have a good laugh at me. I mean, it did take a lot of time, but I think it was worth it. So first I'm going to die cut it and then try to remove all those bits which are then sticky. Make sure you put it with the non-sticky side down on top of the die, and then you die cut. I was lucky this time around because the backing paper stayed on most of those pieces, and when I made my earlier box, in nearly every butterfly all the backing paper had come loose, so there were tiny bits sticking everywhere. See, you can remove the backing and then you have another mask. Shall I exchange it for a butterfly? Yes, I shall. I will. So let me put it down there. Okay, and I'll save that one. Then, when they are attached, I'm going to do my inking, polished pink this time, and the blending brush. And you ink up your brush, you remove some of the excess ink, and then you start in the middle of the butterfly, and then you go around it, so that the darkest colour is around the butterfly itself, and you continue with the others. You could see that I finally sort of wiped off my brush on the cardstock around it. Now I'm going to use the Colour and Contour stamp set and these little dots, and I'm going to put that on my block, and I'm going to stamp off and stamp full strength, and I'm going to go around my cardstock. So first I'll do the stamping off. And then I'm going to add some full strength stamps here and there. I can then remove the masks, and if I'm really gentle, I could use them another time. I've noticed that it helps if you start from either end of the wings. Because of course they are fragile. And I just didn't want to be making new masks all the time because of, well, you know, I've shown you. You can see that the masks that I've already used once come off even more easily. Oh, see, I've torn it because the paper gets wet too, you know, with all the ink, so you may occasionally tear one. Okay, so I'll throw away that one. This one will be a bit more difficult to remove because this is the first time that I've used it, so be very careful there. I find that the body of the butterfly often sticks really well, so there we go. And look how pretty. I'll show you how to do the scoring and the folding and the cutting. this is what you have now, and I'm getting in my little example. You see, in preparation I always try things out myself, and often I keep these to show me where I have to put down the tear and tape and how to do the cutting. So you have this one on the left now, the narrow edge, and which means that here you're going to make wedges, tiny wedges, and I'll put my tear and tape on first. That saves me from putting on a bit of tear and tape 4 times. Okay, so the cutting. Along this, so the narrow edge left, narrow edge at the bottom, you cut up to that score line. You can wedge that one, and you can wedge all the others. You can do this individually or in one go, as you see me doing here. I'm just looking for the score line for my wedge, and this one as well. Right, so that's the bottom. Then on the top, same thing, you cut up the score lines up to the score line. You have 2 wider flaps and 2 narrower flaps. The narrower flaps you're going to wedge, and this one you're going to remove entirely, so you wedge there along the glue flap. Oops. So I'll fold back these ones, the wider ones, you see. So I have the narrower ones left, and you wedge those. And you shorten them just a bit. And because no one is going to see these anyway, I'm not using my trimmer for that. I'm just cutting off, oh, I don't know. No, how much is that? How much did I cut off? Oh, 1/2 inch. So here it doesn't really matter if your cutting isn't that very straight. Right, tear and tape. Where I have put the tear and tape in a U shape, that is going to be the front flap of the top of your box, because it's going to go this way, you see. So do make sure that you do your scoring right when your butterflies are still facing upwards, otherwise you'll have them upside down, which would be a look. But so first I'm going to, oh, I need to wedge one more here. First I'm going to fold in and stick down these 4 flaps along the top. Well, bottom really, because they're going to be the bottom of the slider box. Then I'm going to put it together, and then you have the top of the box, so you fold in the side flaps and then you remove the backing of the back flap. And you do the same thing for the front flap. And this should fit. And it does, hey. I'm not sure if I'll add a bow. I had a bow on this box, but here the butterflies are in a really beautiful position, aren't they? I'll just see if it looks okay. If it doesn't, I'll leave off the bow. That's my husband sneezing. Could you hear him? He knows I'm filming, but of course, a sneeze is involuntary. A bow there or there in the middle. No, it doesn't look right. So you saw me tie a bow, but I'm not going to use a bow on my box. Because, well, the butterfly is in a wrong position. Well, Orchid Oasis and Polished Pink. And one more cute box. You've just watched the third video in my series and I still haven't run out of ideas. If you're more into cards, there are of course card videos on my channel as well. I will link to the other boxes there. Leave me a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for watching, dankjewel voor het kijken and see you next time. Bye, tot ziens!